Let's talk about how a trade progresses, how it starts, how it turns into something more sustainable, and ultimately how it really takes off. So what we're going to do for the next 3 videos here is we're going to go through this sequence because I think in a trading environment, in a trading year, this is really, really important to understand. So in this video, let's first start and talk about the first part of a trade, and that has to do with an extreme overbought or an extreme oversold rating. We use our vertical X Pro indicator for that. That's very specifically designed to find these extremities of emotions when everyone is bearish or everyone is bullish. Let's have a look at this very first and very important step in the sequencing. We're going to use a stock called Brinker International as an example. The ticker symbol is EAT, just for reference points. And you can see this is a stock that went from a pretty darn bearish trend when everyone basically was bearish the stock, and then ultimately slowly over time started to progress into more of a trade and ultimately a huge trend to the upside. But it all started with an extremities of emotions movement. And we're going to pull up our vertical X Pro indicator for that. That's what you're looking at here. And you can see where it all started. We have those up arrows. That indicates to us that be careful, the stock is getting extremely oversold. I'm going to zoom in a bit more into that point in time right now. And the way it's designed to work is to tell us very specifically when something is getting to the point of getting very interesting and very, very much an extreme oversold situation or an overbought situation in the case of something turning down, where it starts getting interesting from an initial trade perspective. So the first point of a trade. And then what it does is it tells us and warns us that be careful, this stock is getting oversold, it's getting oversold, it's getting oversold. It's continuously warning us for multiple days at a time until finally it tells us, hey, on that day right there, listen, this stock, it is so bombed out, it can more or less only go higher, maybe consolidate sideways, but it is done. It is, for the most part, done. Everyone has sold, is extremely oversold. That is the first stage. And if you think about this through the lens of investor psychology, a really good trade, and we're talking about high quality trades here, have to start when we as investors or traders take the other side of basically everyone else, or the other side of human emotions. And that's exactly what this is. This is exactly that. It's taking the other side of human emotion. So when everyone is bearish, when everyone is done with the stock and no longer wants to hear of it, unless it goes out of business, of course, that's a different story, then it is a fantastic time to buy. If you think about Warren Buffett's mantra of, buy when there's blood on the streets, that's kind of what this gets to. But this is just the first stage, and it sets up for a first entry into a stock from a trading perspective. There's still another stage in between before we even get to an investment stage of an investable stock. But it's an initial point in time where we want to look for a stock where it's definitely worth a trade, definitely worth, in this case, if we look at this through a trade that may have lasted for, let's say, a few weeks, the stock ended up rallying like 200% over the course of a couple of months. So that's the first stage when we look at a stock from a trading perspective.